Hello, RPTH B30 student colleagues. As you're preparing for your synchronous session presentation, I want to give you a template for you so that it's pretty standard. And again, you're going to have 10 minutes, and I want you to be closer to the 10 minutes because there's a bit to say as you're preparing this here and in your group, I want you to both work on equally being co-presenting when you present during the synchronous session. And so, this presentation is going to occur before your final submission of your learning module project. And that's good because it's going to have you um, in your group discuss the final pieces and the narratives. And then this presentation, again, is going to be a presentation that's going to cover most of the different areas that you're going to be writing to. And again, the PowerPoint presentation or the slide deck that you're going to develop are really going to be prompts for you and going to be more an outline format as you are discussing these certain areas. And so let me go ahead and share my screen. And so you'll see attached to this area is a template that you can use. And that template, as I said, is in PDF format. And so what I'd like you to do is for you to decide whether you're going to use PowerPoint or Canvas, I'm sorry, Canva, or Prezi or Google Docs. No worries about what you are going to use, but that you're going to pick a template of your own and structure it in terms of just the structure I'm giving you. So as we're looking at this here, first slide is just going to be the title of your project and who the participants are. Now, as we move forward in the slides are really supposed to give you, the presenter, an organized way as you're presenting and to the audience, just really some bullet points to keep on track. And the narrative is going to come from you. So it's not going to come from the slide. So in black here, in the first slide, you're going to be talking about the purpose of your project. And in this, there are going to be three um, concept points. One is just a quick statement on the purpose, and it's not a paragraph or anything, but just one line, just to give an indication of what the purpose is. And so let's assume that you're going to be training patients' families on the use of oxygen. And so maybe that's the purpose. The purpose is a training for home care oxygen use. And then you're going to be then discussing to the audience and giving the rationale of why this is necessary. And the same thing with your target audience. So in the example that I gave you, the target audience are families, patients and families in the home care setting. And then you're going to be talking about and relaying any special considerations for that target audience and how to best convey that information in terms of the participant population background. And so again, this is the area that you're going to be writing to for the blended portion of the project for counseling B10, but you would be giving some information to, as a presenter, to the audience in this area. And then the location and format provided. And you're just going to be giving a quick reason as to why you chose the location, whether it's in person or virtual, and the delivery format. The next slide, you're going to list your learning outcomes and objectives. So on this slide, that's all you're going to list on the slide, but then you're going to talk to the audience about how they were developed, talk about the focus of the learning domains, and then just share the connection between the objectives to the outcomes. The next one, again, it's a copy and paste of your activities, timeframes, and associated materials. And you can use the template that we used from assignment in week 6. But then you're going to give a quick description about why you organized it the way you did. This is probably the area that you're going to spend more time on, and you're going to talk about the curriculum and integrated teaching learning methods. So you developed a slide deck. Talk about how you're going to use that slide deck in organizing and facilitating your learning module. You're going to list an example of identified written materials. And so at minimum, we've all done the slide deck. There's the slide deck. The other is category is some written materials, and whether those are an article that you're going to share, whether that's a website of information, whether that's a handout that you were able to curate or develop, then you're going to talk about how those written materials are going to be used. And then the one everybody I asked to develop is some sort of active learning material activity. So you could paste a screenshot of that developed activity, and then of course talk about how you're going to use it to engage participants in effective learning. And then you also developed a learning assessment tool. And so you'll take a screenshot of that learning assessment tool and you'll describe your thought process of the development of that learning tool, which outcomes it will assess, and then how it will be conducted to effectively assess the learning of those outcomes. Okay? And so again, you don't need anything here, but really the screenshot, and you talk through to the audience about all these pieces in it. And then the last slide is really a reflection. And so in your group, I want you to brainstorm at least 2 skills that you learned in this course for RTPH B30. One could be from counseling B10, that would be fine. So between the two, that you found useful, and that even if you are not moving towards becoming an educator, which I think most of you at this point in your career are not, but we are informal educators all the time at the bedside or whatever position we work in as restorative care practitioners. Um, Identify 2 bullet pointed skills that you've learned, and then you'll share reflective thoughts to the audience on those 2 skills. Okay. And so again, this is what we'll have you do. And so I will, at the end of this week, next weekend, I will, by Monday of the week that you're going to present, I'll publish a schedule of who will go first, second, third, and so forth. That. So remember, our synchronous session is on Wednesday, December 13th from 5 to 7. We'll have you present. And again, you'll also be submitting this slide deck that you devised for credit. Okay. And so for you'll develop this, you will go on ahead and then present. And again, 10 minutes for that presentation. And then we'll pause for any questions that the audience might have for you. Okay. So again, hope this is helpful, and feel free to reach out for me if you have any questions. All right. Look forward to your presentation.